Hello and welcome. Today we'll be looking at the Hellcaller Warlock. So right now we're going through all of the new hero talents coming in the War Within. We have already been through a bunch of these, so don't forget to like and subscribe. And let's just get started. So, Hellcaller Warlock. First ability is Wither. Wither will be available at level 71. So, for Affliction it replaces Corruption, and for Destro it replaces Immolate. What is it? Bestow a vile malediction upon the target, burning the zenith and muscle of its host, dealing shadow flame damage over 18 seconds. Okay. I mean, so far sounds cool, but I'm just wondering if it still goes like, does it still, for instance, Affliction can take a talent that makes Corruption permanent and have no duration. Does that also apply for Wither? And Destruction, I mean, it replaces Immolate, but can you still, so if you use Cataclysm as a Destruction, does it just give out Wither instead? And does Wither still go with Demon Bolt? Okay, on the left side. Salen's Ferocity. Shadow damage increased by 5 and fire damage increased by 5%. Yeah, just a bit of a baseline. In the middle here, Blackened Soul. Your damaging abilities further corrupt enemies affected by your Wither, increasing its stack count by 1. Each time Wither increases, it has a chance to become acute, dealing Shadow Flame damage to its host every 1 second until 1 stack remains. Okay. Wither will always become acute after reaching 8 stacks, or when its host reaches 20% HP, so kind of like an execute. On the right side, Salen's Cruelty. Fire crit strike chance increased by 10%, Shadow crit strike chance increased by 10%. So yeah, a bit, just more baseline. On the right side, on our first choice node. So first one, Severum's Resilience. When you consume a Healthstone, you also restore 10% of your max HP as Soul Leech. Okay. Or Ilhuf's Design. Sacrifice 10% of your max HP. Soul Leech now absorbs an additional 15% of your maximum health. Okay, so is this permanent or only for the duration of something? Or is it just like you sacrifice 10% of your HP to gain an even bigger Soul Leech? Okay. So kind of like going into a glass cannon-ish build. I mean, it would be fair because Warlock are extremely tanky. In the middle one, another choice node. First one, Hate Fury's Rituals. So, Wither deals 100% increased damage, but its duration is 50% shorter. Okay. Or Blackheart Tactics. Wither damage increased by 15%. When Wither gains a stack from Blackened Soul, it has a chance to gain 1 additional stack. So okay, here we need some clarification, because if Wither gets the same buffs as Corruption did, and you play Affliction and just go into the talent where Affliction doesn't, like, it can't drop off Corruption, does that mean that Wither just deals 100% increased damage and doesn't have a duration, because it's just permanent from the Corruption? Maybe. On the left side, another choice node. Mark of the Legacy. Curse of Weakness also applies Curse of Tongues or Aura of Enfeeblement. I can't pronounce that. Enemies within 10 yards are affected by a Curse of Weakness and Curse of Tongues at 75% effectiveness. Yeah, nice. So, on the left side, Mark of Saviors. So, for Affliction, Agony deals 10% increased damage. Agony is now a combo skill, directly recasting Agony within 2 seconds. Apply Agony to 1 nearby enemy. Okay, that's pretty huge for Affliction. And Destruction, Wither damage is increased by 10%. Wither is now a combo skill, directly recasting Wither within 2 seconds. Applies Wither to 1 other nearby enemy. Yeah. In the middle one here, called the weak Casting Wither directly or refreshing Wither with less than 4 seconds remaining causes Wither to gain 3 stacks. That's pretty nice. And on the right side here, Mark of Perothram. Blackened Soul deal 5% increased damage per stack of Wither. And for Affliction, Agony deals 10% deals damage 10% faster, and Destruction Wither deals damage 10% faster. So that's just a nice one, I guess. And the last one in the middle here is an active ability called Malevolence. 1 minute cooldown. Dark magic erupt from you and corrupts your soul for 20 seconds, causing enemies suffering from your Wither to take Shadow Flame damage and increases its stack count by 3. For Affliction, while corrupted, your active Withers are acute, your haste is increased by 10%, and Malefic Rapture grants 1 additional stack of Wither to targets affected by your unstable Affliction. Okay? Destruction. When corrupted, your active Wither are acute, your haste is increased by 10%, and Chaos Bolt grants 1 additional stack of Wither. So, I think the concept of the Hellcaller is really cool, and it could do some really nice things if it could play into the skills that it already has, and making sure that it still gets all the benefits from Emulate when replacing it, and also gets the benefit from Corruption. This one could be extremely cool and really strong, but if it doesn't and just negates the Corruption application and the Emulate traits in your tree, I don't really think it's that good, to be honest. I mean, depends on how everything plays. We don't have the alpha yet, so we can't really tell, but I mean, thematic and for the classes and the specs, it looks really cool. I think it's really, like, the fantasy is super cool, but depending on the scaling and how things interact with the current tree, I don't know how it's going to play, but guess we'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.